2024 is almost over. There's only one day left. For Russia, it's been quite a year. Quite a few things have happened that we need to remember, and a few things we should never forget. Let's talk of the most shocking and memorable moments of 2024. Howdy everyone, my name is Konstantin and welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. As usual, you will not find any propaganda, lies or BS on this channel. Instead, you will find truth, common sense and logic, and some emotions too, because I'm still a human being. I will have the message itself for you today. Then I invite everyone to participate in a live stream chat, and we will finish this live stream with a prayer. Now, it's really hard to believe how fast 2024 has gone by. The New Year celebration seems like it was just yesterday, and now we're about to celebrate 2025. And you know what? It's been quite a year. I want to share my view on this shocking, dramatic, and sometimes tragic year. Tragic events. I have 16 events that have stood out for me, and I want to share them with you. And without further ado, I'll start with number 1. Secondary sanctions. Back in the fall of 2022, 2 years ago, I made a video named Secondary Sanctions Are Russia's Silent Killer. Even back then, it was obvious that the secondary sanctions would be a huge hit to the Russian economy. The secondary sanctions are simply identifying and punishing those who help to circumvent primary sanctions placed against Russia. Their goal is to make sure that no one circumvents primary sanctions. The Western countries were slow at first to implement the sanctions that actually work, but by the end of 2023, they picked up the pace. It hit Russia like a train on January 1st of this year. Turkish banks stopped accepting payments from Russian banks. They had been threatened by the USA with the sanctions of their own. And it wasn't worth risking everything for the Turks. So they simply stopped doing business with Russians. Huge problems followed for Russian companies. I witnessed them. Russians came to Uzbekistan trying to find a way how to go around this. Okay, so I can tell you a thing or two what they tried to do. Then, at the end of February, China jumped in on the train of the secondary sanctions against Russia. The same reason the Americans threatening China, the Chinese banks. Russia hasn't recovered yet from the blow that has been hit. Doing business has become more expensive and much more complicated. The delivery times have increased by a great deal, and the trend will continue into 2025. By the way, just in a couple days, on January 2nd, I will release a video, well, most likely it will be a live stream, where I will make my economic forecasts for 2025. So please keep on tuning in. Number 2, a huge crisis in Russia's infrastructure. In the winter of 2024, in dozens of Russian cities, one could see an unusual sight. Regular people standing outside in brutally sub-zero weather, burning oil and wood, trying to warm themselves. 27 Russian cities and towns declared state of emergency due to their utilities failing. They started failing for one simple reason: maintenance must be done. You know, maintenance is a thing that you can't really skip it, especially in the complex systems such as power plants, pumping stations, substations, sewage plants, and so forth. In Russia, the expected started happening. Without maintenance, things simply started breaking. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to predict that. The utilities have been understaffed, underfinanced, and undersupplied. The utilities crisis is here again at the end of 2024, and there is no end to it anywhere on the horizon. Things are just getting worse at this point. Number three, on February 16th, Alexei Navalny was murdered in a Russian prison. Russia's most popular opposition politician, really Russia's hope, became the force that Vladimir Putin and his friends were deathly afraid of, even with Alexei being locked up in prison. And Navalny was murdered. Definitely one of the darkest pages in the book of Russia's history. He was murdered, but he didn't die. He lives. He lives in memories and in many hearts. And I think that Vladimir Putin is afraid of that even more now. Number 4, the presidential campaign. I also call it the grand sugarcoating. The government had been sugarcoating everything for 6 months prior to Putin's elections. If you, by some chance, found yourself in Russia in the first quarter of 2024 and listened to the officials and the propaganda, you'd be amazed of how well everything in Russia was going. Economy? Great. The war in Ukraine? Oh, Russia is victorious. International sanctions? Not working. Russia getting stronger every day. Inflation? Under control. Totally. Forecast for inflation? Positive. Elvira Nabiullina, one of many Russian officials, but one of the most senior, the head of Russia's central bank, was telling everyone of how inflation in Russia was declining in February and in March. Now, that's quite something, you know. The sugarcoating lasted until May, until the day Putin was inaugurated, well, appointed really for the 5th term. The day after, sugarcoating disappeared. It was not needed any longer. The grand lie happened and, reached its purpose and simply was discarded. Number 6, presidential elections. An engineered event was the talk of Russia for quite some time. Thousands of crimes, ballot stuffing, caught on camera in the daylight all over Russia. Putin winning when he was not supposed to win. Putin actually officially lost, by the way, if you count those votes of the Russians living abroad, like myself, and the members of Tashkent Breakfast Club, and basically every Russian here in Uzbekistan, in other countries, who has fled. So Putin lost abroad. He was made the winner inside Russia. Number 6, the shake-up of the government. It happened just a couple days after the inauguration of Putin. The 5th president of Russia brought few surprises. The Minister of Defense, Sergei Shoigu, was fired and replaced by a fella named Belousov, a nobody really, an economist from Soviet Gosplan. That person in favor of planned economy was put in charge of country's armed forces and defenses, or offenses. Another surprise was a departure of Russia's Grey Cardinal, Nikolai Patrushev, into the oblivion. It seems at this point that he has lost a great deal of influence. Something must have happened between him and Putin that we don't really know at this point. I'm sure we will, but not right now. Number 7, facing the reality. I made it a separate event because it's amusing. I still remember the summer of 2024. Amusing. Facing the reality was followed, that was what followed the grand sugarcoating. All top government officials, all of a sudden, out of the blue, right after Putin was inaugurated for the 5th time, started saying how bad everything in Russia was. Elvira Nabiulina, the head of Russia's central bank, who just in February, in March, was assuring Russians that the tough times were over and the inflation was under control and the forecast was positive. In June, she came out and she was furious. At a public press conference, she announced that the inflation was back with a bang and was flying high. What a departure from her own words just 2 months prior. If I were a regular Russian person, getting all the news from Russian TV and Russian newspapers exclusively, I would be very surprised in June. It would seem to me as if I teleported to a completely different country. In May, it was one country where everything was great. And in June, it became another country where everything was falling apart, according to the same people. Gosh, what a difference a few weeks can make. Well, that was pretty bad. Number 8, Ruble troubles. June 12th, Russia's currency exchange was placed, Mosbirja was placed under US sanctions, and Russian ruble stopped being traded. It ceased to be a fiat currency. Fiat currency is that follows the rules of free market. So Russian ruble is not fiat currency any longer, and it happened right in the middle of the year. Now Russian central bank and Russian government can artificially manipulate Russian currency, Russian ruble, in any way it wants. All they have to do is announce a new exchange rate of Russian ruble to world currencies. That's it. It gives Russian central bank and in general Russian government lots of brute force, but it has the negative side effects like you're not going to believe. Again, I speak of that in live streams of Russian economy that I do quite often. If you want to learn more, please keep on tuning in. Before moving to number 9, I would like to take this opportunity to take a little break, have a sip of this wonderful English breakfast tea that I drink every day. This is good. And I also want to thank you, everyone who is a part of this great community, everyone who has supported me in different ways, everyone who has watched my videos, who has liked them, who has commented them, who has sent me emails with encouraging words, who prayed with me and for me, and who sent me love. Thank you so very much. You are a lifesaver. And thank you those who have bought me coffees at buymecoffee.com. Thank you for all patrons at Patreon, and thank you who supported through PayPal. You are a lifesaver. Thank you so much. And I make you a promise. Every day I do that. I will not stop doing this monetized or not, currently demonetized by YouTube, I guess for standing too tall in speaking against Russia for Ukraine. Yeah, kind of, YouTube doesn't like that. But hey, monetized or not, I will be here every single day telling you the truth. So thank you so very much. Now, number 9, the political prisoner exchange. On August 1st, Russia, Europe, and the USA exchanged 24 prisoners. 16 released from Russian prisons and 8 released from the USA, and a few European countries, including Poland, Slovakia, and Germany. Those who were released from the Western prisons sent to Russia, and Russians were sent to the West. Russia released political prisoners, those opposition leaders who were strong enough and dared to stand up against Vladimir Putin openly, including Yashin and Kara-Murza. The USA and European countries released spies and murderers and sent them back to Russia where they belong. To each their own. Number 10, Kursk invasion. The Ukrainian armed forces crossed the border of Russia and moved into the territory of the country. In a few days, they occupied dozens of settlements, towns, and villages in Kursk province and have been in control of around 1,000 square kilometers of land. This most likely is the biggest shock of the year for many Russians and for many people in general. In Russia, let me tell you, certainly no one expected that. This event, this hugely important event, has made quite an impact. It has showed that Russian army does best running. It ran away from the Ukrainians, and they simply walked into Russian territory. A quarter of a million Russian people, the civilians, have run because basically of the war happening right next to their houses. So they fled and became refugees in their own country, and their own country is not really helping them. It kind of ignores their existence. Russian troops have proved that they're completely impotent. Russian army has become the laughingstock in the world. At this point, on this last day of 2024, the Ukrainians are still controlling a grand part of Kursk province. Russians have been trying to push them back into Ukraine, but let's count. August 6th, the invasion started, so September 6th, 1 month. October 6th, 2 months. November 6th, 3 months. December 6th, 4 months. And in 1 week, it'll be 5 months. Now, can you imagine, let's say you live in the United States or in Germany or in France. Can you imagine that another country moves into one of your provinces and your army cannot do anything? It cannot push the army back. And you go month after month after month for 5 months and nothing is happening. Boy. There was a commotion in the Russian media right after it happened because no one really knew how to take it. The propaganda didn't have instructions at the time, and people were speaking up openly for the first few weeks. Now, everyone in Russia is acting as if nothing happened, and there is no Ukrainian army in Kursk or anywhere in Russia for that matter. They're using their best strategy. Something happens and they're acting as if nothing happened. Miraculously, in Russia, it works. I tell you, Russia is that, whatever the Churchill said, Winston Churchill said, enigma wrapped in mystery, covered by smoke, all that. You know what I mean. Number 11. Peace is in the air. Signs of peace appeared in the air in Russia in the summertime, around summertime. Actually, both in Russia and in Ukraine. Since then, the preliminary talks, peace talks, have taken place, and they have been intensifying. They are, in Russia, they are talking openly that the country needs peace. And it is very obvious. Both countries are exhausted. Obviously, Ukraine is exhausted. It's being invaded by its neighbor. But surprisingly, Russian army is also exhausted. It doesn't have any more people because they have taken everyone who wanted to, were willing to join the armed forces voluntarily, so to speak, on their own, to sell the soul to the devil for sign-up bonuses. And there aren't anyone like that. Well, there are very few people in Russia like that. Despite the sign-up bonus sizes, they're just enormous. And then the second problem is Russian military complex is exhausted. It's not making enough weapons, armor, guns, ammo, and so forth. So, and the third reason is the Russian economy is exhausted. The savings account has been depleted and Russian budget is in the red. Putin needs peace. So the propaganda shifted its turn and started talking about peace right now. At first, a little bit, just kind of throwing in little bits and pieces into the informational space. And now everyone and their brother is talking about how the peace is needed, the peace is coming, and so forth. So Russian society is being conditioned. Number 12, North Koreans in Russia. Things got so bad in the Russian armed forces that Vladimir Putin begged Kim Jong-un to send his troops to help Russians in Ukraine. It's actually incredible. A defense pact has been signed between Russia and North Korea. Both countries have engaged into a mutually defensive practice, meaning if one country is attacked by someone, another one is obliged to come in and bail that country out. And according to that pact, North Korea has sent, the rumors have it around 10,000 troops. I've heard different estimates from 10 to 12,000 soldiers. And those soldiers arrived to the front line, first in Kursk, and now they are in Ukraine. And the rumors have it they are killed a dime a dozen. Even the first North Korean soldier has been recently captured by the Ukrainians, literally a couple days ago. So, North Koreans are in Russia. Number 13. Russian economy crashing. Different words are used for Russian economy in its current state. Decline, problem, recession, stagflation. I have been calling it the economic tsunami for about 3 years now. This economic tsunami, in my eyes, is a powerful force has been coming and knocking everything down, destroying everything, changing the entire economic landscape, the economic principles, the foundation of the economy, changing it completely around. I forecasted it for a long time. It is here now. I don't have to forecast any longer. I just have to cite Russian officials because, hey, remember the sugar coating is off. It, went off, disappeared in late May, early June. And simply, it's not me saying that Russian economy is falling apart. It's Russian officials, Russian economists, and so forth. now they have so much more freedom, speaking the truth of the economy. Not complete freedom, but much more freedom than under sugarcoating. This January 2nd, in just 3 days, I will give you the forecast for 2025. Okay, so please come back and watch. It's going to be interesting. Then at the end of 25, I will make the live stream to address my forecasts. So I'll talk where I was wrong and I was right. So as of now, at the end of 2024, let me just give you a few key economic indicators. That's how economy is judged, by the economic indicators. That's macroeconomics. Unemployment, 2%. The key interest rate, 21%. The real life inflation, around 28, 30%. No one really knows the exact number at this point, but it's safe to say it's around 28, 30%. The official inflation that the Russian government is giving is 8.5%. Perhaps it's going to be released even a larger number. And I remind you, in the beginning of the year, they promised that the inflation would not go any higher than 4.5%. So it doubled just for the official forecasts. In the exchange rate of Russian American dollar against Russian ruble, today, on the last day, well, technically in Uzbekistan it's already December 31st, so I can say that today, on the last day of the year, 1 American dollar can buy you 111 Russian rubles. That's how much the Russian ruble is worth. It has lost 36% of its value in just 4 months. This key economic indicators is all you need to know about the state of Russian economy right now. It is falling apart. Different news come out every day. They are not comforting for Russians, for the economists, and for everyone really. And inside Russia, I do a great deal of live streams and videos about Russian economy. This is one of my favorite, if not the favorite topic. Again, I will release an economic forecast for 2025 video on January 2nd. Please tune in. In a nutshell, Russian economy is in huge trouble right now. And the news will be coming out more and more that will paint a picture of the demise of Russian economy and Russia in general. And I invented what I call Formula 54. I find that if you look at the mainstream media, then it doesn't really paint you the right picture of what's really happening in Russia. I look at most of the news coming out of the country, and every single day I select 9 news that I find important, that I find that matter, that I find interesting and educational. So 9 news, I add my commentaries and analysis, and I make them available to patrons of Inside Russia at Patreon. So if you want to stay on top of things Russia, but don't know where to look no further, sign up, become patron, and receive 54 news per week, 9 news per day, every day except for Sunday. Number 14, Oreshnik. On 21st of November, Russia, for the first time, used a ballistic missile on Ukraine. It used the ballistic missile in real-life situation for the first time ever. Before, just practices, you know. Real-life experience. Russian, well, really Soviet made ballistic missile called Oreshnik was fired and hit target near Dnipro. That's a large Ukrainian city. That event definitely stuck in the memory, not just mine, but in many people's memories. It is a shame. It certainly is one of the darkest pages in the history of my country. I am hurt. I feel terrible for people who have suffered. I have asked many times the Ukrainians, I said, please forgive us. I know it doesn't cut it any longer. I keep on saying that. I am ashamed. I don't really have many comments. Russia is descending into darkness more and more, into darkness that is just not a good place to be. Number 15, ecological problems in Russia. Guess what happens when you stop maintaining machines and mechanisms? They break down. And when some of them are not that serious, not a big deal. For example, soda machines. If you stop maintaining vending machines, soda machines or sandwich machines, they just stop working, and that's not a big deal, really. But if you stop maintaining power plants, they break. They're very complicated facilities, and they need qualified people, they need finances, and they need technology, spare parts. And if everything is lacking, then they start breaking. And you know what? If a power plant breaks, it could be a disaster, especially if it's a nuclear power plant. That can affect lives of many people. And it's not just the power plants. Airplanes, trains, trucks, and ships. And I forecasted quite some time ago that sooner or later, Russia will start facing ecological problems, ecological disasters. Again, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that. If you don't maintain things, they break, they spill, they pollute, they affect, they poison. And this is what happened at the very end of December of this year. A Russian ship sank, actually oil tanker. It wasn't even supposed to be in the sea because it was a river tanker, oil tanker. It was transporting about 5 to 6,000 tons of heating oil, mazout, and it broke into 2 pieces in a winter storm. And all the oil that was inside spilled into the Black Sea. And Russia is facing a huge ecological disaster in the area where the oil spill right now. At this point, I think hundreds of thousands, but there'll be millions of people affected already. Russian government isn't doing much to clean up the spill. It's not admitting fault. It's trying to hide it from the news. And basically, this is the first event, I believe, in a series of many. So Russians, get ready. But the oil spill is the forerunner of larger and numerous ecological tragedies that we're going to see in Russia. This oil spill is the first one. And the last but not least, shooting down a civilian jet. That's something definitely Russia will be remembered by, and not just in the 2025, but for a very long time. Because when Russia shot down South Korean jumbo jet over 30 years ago, 40 years, I think now, the people still remember. And they will remember the plane from Azerbaijan who was flying from Baku to Grozny, the head of the capital of Chechnya. And the plane was shot down by Russian air defense system. And when they realized what they've done, they did not allow the plane to land safely. They directed it towards Kazakhstan, hoping it would fall into the Caspian Sea and the remainings will not be found, so the crime would be covered. So the plane made it to Kazakhstan, it crash landed, and half of passengers miraculously survived. And there are witnesses now. They have video records, video films, video footage. They speak. They saw what happened with their own eyes, and they talking about it. There's a big geopolitical nightmare for Russia, and I'll be talking about it day after tomorrow on January 1st. I will make a video or a live stream about what is happening, the aftermath of the shooting down the civilian jet. At this point, you need to know that things are not good. Azerbaijan people and Azerbaijan, the country, are absolutely upset with Russia. They demand apology. Russia is trying to cover things up, and things are heating up. And that is something that Russia is going to be remembered by. This has been number 16, event number 16, thing number 16, and I'm done. This is how I see 2024. It's been a very tough year for me personally and for the country and for the people. Not the toughest. I think the toughest are ahead. Toughest years are ahead. 2025 will be worse. 2026 will be much worse. And oh boy, what awaits us in 27? Well, them, really. In 2027, I can't even imagine. So thank you so very much. Again, taking this opportunity, I'd like to thank you all who have watched me in 2024. It's been quite a journey. Thank you. I appreciate your attention. I appreciate your prayers, your love. You are absolutely awesome and you rock. And now I invite everyone to join me in a live stream chat. I'm going to turn it on right now. I'll try to answer questions and I'll be just glad to see everyone. Thank you. The live stream chat is on. And this is my most favorite part of any stream when I see that not just sitting in front of the camera and talking to it, but I turn the live stream chat on and people just, this explodes with people and messages and life. So thank you so much. I believe Lorna is not with us today. Mommy, Bob, Dirk, Harry. If you're here for the first time, I want you to know that Inside Russia is a great community, YouTube community. And this is due to help of the moderators that are the best in the world. They're Lorna, Mami K, Bob S, Harry Potnin, Dirk, and Amir Fazad. Fantastic people and the best moderators. Friends, thank you for keeping this live stream chat clean and for making this community a very pleasant one. If you want me to notice your message or comment easier, please put it in all caps and put Inside Russia after @ so I see it highlighted in large orange box, just like Andrew Hodson did. Hello, Andrew, as usual from South Africa. And how Bob S. did, and Harry Potnin. Howdy, howdy. The usual suspects, thank you for coming. Fantastic to see everyone. Terry, of course. Stefan, George Rames, Donna, Angela McNabb, Palm Tree Kate, Leitmotif for me, Mr. Kaliskin from Chicago, Electrics from England, of course, Sam the Legend K, Andres Benz, guten Abend. Kermo, Petra Olson, keep on praying for you. Scott Nesbitt, Faith Russert, whoa, long time no see. All the way from Spain. Magnus Forsland, howdy, howdy. Joao Morenos, Paul King, Texas Lady 1025, Veronica Mifsud, Rourke Sabni. Thank you so much for coming. Edward Jenner, howdy. Terry Carter, Paul King, Malti Ducky. Hello, friends. Heidi Hi, Lucky Lumi, Alex, thank you so much. Paul Wright. Well, friends, fantastic to see everyone. It's been quite a year. Thank you for staying with me. I feel troubles on the channel are cooking because of the demonetization. The YouTube has started demoting the channel, so demotion is happening. I see it in the numbers. But you know what, YouTube, after all has happened, thank you for at least keeping me my voice. Letting me keep my voice. So, no matter what happens, I will be out here every single day in 2025, as long as I'm physically healthy enough to do that. So thank you, friends. It's been quite a year, and again, thank you for all your support. Let's jump into the questions. Dirk says, please remember English only, no US politics. Friends, it seems like if any of us or I mention US politics, people start fighting. I wonder if it's how they are in the United States these days, but no US politics here. Thank you. Paul King, you're a bright light. Thank you so much. I'm flattered, honored. Thank you. Don Fox from the Netherlands. Drawbridge 611, thank you so much for saying great year in review. Lucky Lumi, thank you. Terry, thank you so much. I think you are their most, I can't say loyal fan. I don't like this word loyal fan, but you're here like every single day. I don't remember you missing one live stream. You always watch, you always engage, you always comment. Terry, thank you so much. It is my pleasure and honor to have you at Inside Russia. Patskali from Finland, howdy. Francesca from Barcelona, good to see you. Arnie Seiper, 2 days back was 25 years anniversary of Putin taking power. Russian state media was suspiciously quiet about that. No. Tomorrow. That happened on the 31st of December. So that's going to happen tomorrow, not 2 days back. You know what? Thanks for reminding me. I clearly remember the day when Boris Yeltsin stepped down and appointed Putin as his successor. 31st of December of 1999. I will monitor Russian media extra carefully tomorrow to find out how they react to this anniversary. 25 years. That's right. 25 years. In about 12 hours, that's going to happen. Edward, thank you so much. Edward Jenner. Bogdan from Romania. In Russian, it's Romania. In English, Romania. So thank you, friend. Fantastic to see you. Terry Carter from Pulaski, Virginia. Howdy. Paul King, again, thank you. Clubberella, thank you so much for joining us today. Pam Tricate, thank you. Gloria, Julian, thank you so much. Happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I saw howdy friend from someone and it jumped. Ay, ay, ay. From Galaxy Rider. Oh, long time no see. Good to see you. Richard Head, thank you so much. You made it indeed. Philip from Canada, sending my love to snowy and cold Canada with nice and warm people. Terry, how will Moscow escape the turmoil in 2025? Please come back on January 2nd, not too long from now, and I will do forecast for the upcoming year. So we'll talk about that. Yelena Arrington, God has his own plans for Russia and everyone involved. That is 100% true. I agree with that. Andre Morel, thank you for your help to all of us. Truly giving an inside view what's happening to what was once a great country in the 90s and which is suddenly returning to the dark ages. Prayers for you. Thank you so much for the good words and for the prayers. Andre, this is my mission, because I pretty much don't do anything else except for putting Russia under a microscope, monitoring all the news, all the Telegram channels that are important, learning about things that happen in Russia. And I'm trying to fight Russian propaganda, because what it does brilliantly, it silences memories. Somehow, Russian people, things that happen in Russia and are very important. And the Russian propaganda tries its best, and it does its best, to somehow leave voids in the heads of Russian people, to have them feel as if the important events were not there, never happened, but they did. And the Western media, it just picks up Russian news. That's it. And most of Western media picks up Russian propaganda news. I understand now what is happening. And in the West, people kind of have no chance of learning of what's really happening in Russia. And this, I find this my mission, to tell everyone to pay attention to things that are really important. I call people to remember certain things, to disregard perhaps others, to pay their attention to few events and few things that are incredibly important. I don't know of anyone who does that besides me. So I try my best. Thank you so much. Artune, change your citizenship. Oh, I don't know, you're a man or a woman. Thank you for the advice. That's a brilliant advice. Only how? How would I change my... Just, hypothetically. How do you think? I just walk into American embassy here, and I knock on the door and say, hey, my name is Konstantin. I'd like to get American citizenship. Let me in. My kids who are born and raised U.S. citizens, Jake, it was his second time outside the country, the USA. Mainers to the core. They came to visit me in Uzbekistan. They knocked on the U.S. embassy's door here, showing their American passports, asking for help, assistance, and they weren't even let in. that's what America does outside America. And it's basically same goes for other countries as well. Russians are not welcome anywhere. I'm stuck, like many thousands of others. I founded a charity foundation called Brain Drain Unlimited, trying to help Russian people, Russians and Ukrainians who are in dire straits, who have fled their countries, running away from evil. I'm trying to send them to the USA legally, provide financing to get legal help inside the United States. And it's very difficult, very, very difficult. So if you know a magic trick how to get citizenship of any Western country, please let me know. I'm open. Carlos, good to see you. Thanks for the videos and your prayers. Thank you so much for coming, watching, liking, and thank you for being a community, part of the community. Again, please, no U.S. politics, depressing, and no matter how depressing they are, please, let's not talk about them. My name in English is John, like John the Revelator from the Bible. North wind from Mareira wind here. You can use John. Thank you so much. That's easier to say than Joao Morenos. John, good to finally meet you. Angela, all the best for 2025. Let's hope to a more peaceful year to both Russia and Ukraine. I hope for peace, I pray for peace, and I believe there will be peace finally in 2025. For one simple reason, Russia cannot go like this. What Russia is doing is not sustainable. It's falling apart. As I'm speaking this right now, it is falling apart. It is forced to stop the aggression. There will be plenty of interesting news. Ats Miller, thank you so much for coming. Thank you. It is important to me as an Estonian that Russia has started to break the cables, most recently in the Gulf of Finland a few days ago. You know, I discussed it with a few Russians here, with my wife, and it's a shame, you know. Russia can't win, but it can do this little nasty things, okay, to others to poison their lives. And that is not a sign of a large, proud, strong state, okay? It's a sign of coward. So, you know, please forgive us. Andreas Benz, the plane which Russia shot down in Ukraine years ago was from Indonesia, not South Korea. No. South Korean airliner, it was shot near Japan back in 1981 or 82, that's what I meant. The one from Indonesia was shot over Donetsk back in 2015, I believe. Patrick Peyo, thank you so much. Guy is here. Howdy, friend. Blue Ranches, hello. Yes. Thank you. Will do. Paul King. Russians have always lived through hard times. What makes today's hard times different than what they suffered in the past? A world of difference. You know, I was born into misery. I was born into slavery. I was born into the USSR, and my parents had not seen anything else in their lives. And their parents, my grandparents, same thing. They had not seen anything else in their lives, only what we had in the USSR. Now, then things changed in 91, and for about 15 years, Russia was free. Really free. Russia was having awesome period of time. Many things changed, and people got experience. They got experience seeing the world. They got experience feeling how it is to be absolutely free. And now, my generation, we have 15 years of freedom behind our belts. It's really hard to become a slave when you're a free man. When you're born a slave, and when your parents and grandparents and everyone, the entire country, that's one thing. But when you were a free man, become slave, that's quite a different thing. That's what is different this time. And yes, Russians are professional sufferers, but you know what? Again, I think things are different. Sebastian, other ways to securely get physical things to you without FSB putting their dirty hands, even postcards? No. No, there are no secure ways. No, I'm sorry. It's really a shame, but I can't get anything here. Putin is a cornered rat. He will fight until he's stopped. We'll see. Somehow I have a feeling that things will change abruptly, and I'll make a live stream about that. Craig Hughes, Moscow terror attack, but definitely yes, it was remembered. It is remembered. Kursk invasion, eco catastrophe, infrastructure fails, economy failing, increased corruption, casualty rates unseen since World War II, an endless list of fails. Russia wins. Well, according to Putin, it's victorious. According to the propaganda, yes. And when they might even pull the troops out of Ukraine if circumstances will be right. And they will sell Russians the idea that Russia has won in this war. Okay, so you just wait and watch. Pamela, how about Jimmy Carter? Hopefully not politics, just a good man. I send my condolences to his family. I don't really know much about Jimmy Carter, but everyone's saying he was a good guy, so it's sad, Pascal, you're the only reason to believe that Russia still has humanity. But faith is strongly shaken. Let's hope for the best. It doesn't look good. Friend, not just me. There are plenty of people like me who have fled. Tashkent Breakfast Club. I wish you could join us for breakfast and speak to members of Tashkent Breakfast Club. I put pictures on a regular basis for patrons to see. We discuss things there. There's a little live chat, live forum, so to speak. I wish you could come and have breakfast with us. You would meet many good men and women. And I believe that they are the hope of Russia. You're right, faith is strongly shaken, not just with you, with me, and with us. Faith, it has been shaken. Trust me, I know what you're talking about. Let's hope for the best. It's all we have left. Twisted Teapot, howdy. We're still here watching from the UK. Have much hope for better days next year for all of us, especially Russian and Ukrainian people. Prayers for all. Thank you for very much for watching. Thank you for praying. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Axel 2. Korean Airlines 007 was shot down September 1983. That's what I meant. Serge, thank you so much for coming. Friends, by the way, if I miss your question or comment, it happens because there are so many people in a live stream chat. Just keep on posting where it's highlighted in orange, and sooner or later I will see it. Mikey, Putin said on Russian state TV, "Why do we need a world if Russia is not in it? Do you believe Putin would start a nuclear war, guaranteed mutual annihilation?" Well, first of all, it wasn't Putin who said that. It was Kiselyov, top Russian propagandist. And I do not believe Putin would start a nuclear war, because that would be a suicide for him. And he likes his power, he likes his precious, he likes love, not love, life. I don't think he has love. But he likes life. You see, all his life he was trying to get to this point, to be the Grand Tsar of Russia, to have the absolute power all his life. And starting nuclear war would mean ending his absolute power immediately. So I don't think he would like that. Steve Barnes, has a Russian president ever won the Nobel Peace Prize like Jimmy Carter? Yes, that's a joke. No, it's actually not a joke. Yes, a Russian president has won the Nobel Prize like Jimmy Carter. That was Mikhail Gorbachev, and the year was 1991 or 1990. I think it was 1990. So, yes. Why they only using Lada on the battlefield? I also saw them using scooters, little mopeds. Well, that means that they don't have any tanks. That's my answer. What is yours? I'm sure Lorna will be back. Time reminder from Bob. Thank you so much. Couple questions and I will be wrapping up. Thank you, Bob. Antipods. I heard Russia destroyed Link 2 to do punishment because Estonia will exit from Russian power lines in February. What do you think will be there? More attacks to Estonia? I don't know. I hope not. I feel bad for Estonians. This is an act of terror, perhaps even an act of war. I heard that they caught the vessel that was doing it. I hope that justice will prevail, will be served. Thank you so much, XLL. 1990 was Nobel Peace Prize for Gorbachev. Yes, thank you. 2134, Stephen Redman. Gorbachev was a decent guy, got screwed by Boris. Well, in a way. Question from Slobodan in Austria. How much money does the Russian central bank make with 21% interest? The Russian central bank doesn't make any money. It establishes policies. It regulates money supply. It allows or disallows money supply. It turns on or turns off printing press, but it does not. It's not a commercial bank. It's a Bank of Russia. It's the Federal Reserve. Roman, howdy friends, what do you think about Lachta bots in the comments section? I find it hilarious when they try to change letters to avoid automatic bans. I have not noticed any bots here. Sebastian Forrest here. What do you know about refugees crisis and allegations that Russia, Belarus shipped refugees to EU borders? What happened in the past, I believe, that Russian government was involved. And I made live streams about that. It was quite some time ago. And I'm not aware of any current crisis going on. I'm only saying time is up because I see you mods telling you. I kind of like hesitate to end the stream. I missed you. We don't do many whatchamacallit, live stream chats any longer. So it's fun, you know. Leitmotif, are people buying government bonds? No, they're not. Watch my streams. The Russian central bank allowed Russian commercial banks, it loaned money to them so they can buy the government bonds. No, the Russian people are not buying government bonds because, well, there are many reasons for that. All right, friends, the last comment. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Galaxy Rider, I'm so sorry. My wife left me and took my kids away. My life has become extremely difficult. Please add me to your prayers. I certainly will. I am adding you right now. I've been there, done that. So I know how you feel. It's devastating. We will pray for you as Galaxy Rider. If you want your real name, just let me know. Ernie Ball, 87, with many people in America and the West watching your channel, do you feel that people want to hear the messages or even understand that not all Russians are not all in on Putin? I don't really. I think that people they're genuinely interested in what's happening in Russia and with Russia, and they come to learn. That's what I think. That's why they come. They learn it from me, and I try to shed light on many things in Russia. I am very different from the mainstream media. The mainstream media just gives you the big news and no analysis, just, news pieces, and that's it. And then they usually cites Russian propaganda news outlets such as TASS, RIA, and things like that, RT. What I try to do different, I try to show real life. I try to see it, small things, signs, I call them pieces of puzzle, and I have many of those. I put them together. And then they paint me a real life picture of what's happening. So I think that's why everyone who comes and likes and comments, that's what they come for. Friends, thank you so very much. A last stream of the year. I can't believe 2024 is almost over. Gosh. I'm not sure about tomorrow live streaming. I will try. My friend and his wife came over to celebrate New Year with us. I'll see how it goes. You don't expect me to live stream, but I'll do my best just a little bit. Perhaps no comments, I don't know. But that's how Russians who live in Uzbekistan, I'll try to show how we celebrate New Year. But again, it's not 100%. There will be no live stream on January. Definitely come back on January 2nd. No stream on January 1st. January 2nd will be one about the forecast for Russian economy. That's going to happen in 2025. And from the 3rd to the 10th or 11th, I am taking a break. I need a little bit of rest. So I'll stay on in the Patreon chat. So if you want to keep in touch with me, become patrons. That's not a lot of money to become a member. The lowest tier, I think it's only $3. And I'll be back, recharged, rested, and starting from January 10th or 11th, I'm not sure, but around second week of January, I will be coming back to live streaming daily. So thank you. Thank you, friends. You're fantastic. You're awesome and you rock. I'm inviting everyone to join me in prayer. Thank you so very much. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you for giving us this day, this month, this year. Thank you for putting food on our tables and giving us roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Thank you for our families, and please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads safe and peaceful. Please give us wisdom to raise our children in the way that when they grow up, they will become great people, will not fight in any wars, and will make this world a better place. For now, please keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, please help Ukraine. Give the country much needed peace in 2025. Reach out and touch the hearts of those who are responsible for making that decision. Fill them with love. Remind them they're still human beings, not animals. And have them make the decision to stop the bloodshed. And please help every single Ukrainian who has been affected by this terrible tragedy. Answer their prayers, make their wishes come true. Dear Lord, please help my country, Russia. Assemble your strongest angels with sharpest swords into your army. Have Saint Michael lead it. Send this army to this earth to get rid of the demons who have hijacked my country, who we know by their names and by their faces. Please send your angels to help good Russians to run the country, to make it peaceful, loving, and respecting. Please help everyone who is in danger right now. Send them help, send them protection, send them safety. Help those who are traveling, send them safe travels. Please help single mothers and fathers who are struggling, trying to make ends meet, raising their children. Please send some relief and help. Help those who are helping Ukrainians and help Ukrainians who are currently under Russian attacks. Please help everyone in need. The ones who are sick, cold, addicted, hungry, homeless, jobless, depressed, betrayed, backstabbed, crying, hurting, losing their faith, feeling alone, feeling abandoned. Please fill everyone's heart with love and show them that you have not left them. You're still with them, loving them, helping them, watching every step they take. Please help everyone in need. Thank you for allowing us to come together and pray. Thank you for everyone who's praying along with me right now or simply watching us pray. Please answer everyone's prayer and make everyone's wish come true. Dear Lord, I am asking for people in need of your help. They are Galaxy Rider. Please send your angels to wipe tears from his eyes and relieve his pain and help him in the ways you know how to help. Please help Denise Abbott, Renate, Janice Burgess, Derek Martinez, Ann Larson and her daughter Hannah, Jeffrey S. and his family, Katharina Holm, Hank's sister, who is in Sloan Hospital waiting for the surgery. Please send good doctors. Mark, Tom W., J.R. McKim, Gabin with Gary, Lisa Kumrian, Harry, his family, Terry, John, Linda, Paula W., Dennis, Jason Carney, Susie Mailer, Tim Mayers, Dory, Rhonda McGillis, John, Taylor, Wayne, Dave, Don, Darla, George, Ruberty, Pamela J., Meta, David Porter, his family, and everyone who is in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Leif, Randolph, Grace, Dean Spooner and his church, Yelena, Natasha, Michael, Jake, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Svetlana, Sergey, Liz, Ron, Liz, Koshkin Dom, Sandra, Mike and Mike, Petra Olson, Joseph, Melissa, Jodes, Millie, Philip, Eileen, Highwayman, Victor. Thank you so very much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Friends, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening, watching. Thank you for talking. Thank you for writing comments and liking. And thank you for the great year. You're absolutely awesome and you rock. This is the best community on the internet because of you. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon, most likely in 2025. And before I sign off, I would like to ask you to say out loud along with me the usual. Carthago delende est.